right. So, Kayla, how are you today?
I am good. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic. It's weekend finally. I've been waiting so much for this day to happen, so thank God.
Right.
Yeah, so welcome to the show. It is so cool, and I miss to have someone as talented as you. So before we start, I have to give you a proper welcome, proper intro. So if you have seen some of my episodes before, you know exactly what I'm about to do. If not, that's even better because then I can surprise you. So let me show you.
I love it.
Pretty epic, I know. I love it. So again, welcome back. Welcome to the show here. So starting with everything here, tell me how your acting career started.
So growing up, I was young and I did pageants, and my mom was trying to help me with stuff like that, and she just happened to come across the Simple Life casting, and it was the Simple Life of Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie. And so the lady contacted us and she said, you probably won't get it because, which makes sense, like they want to cast people out of LA so they're not paying, travel and all that. So she said, you know what, let's do an interview. So I had to talk on the phone and I had to videotape it at the same time. And I put my pageant gown on, and then I had a little teacup chihuahua and I put it right beside me. And I did the interview and my teacup chihuahua ended up biting me like during the video, and I was like, oh, so that happened. So she was like, I'll give it to the producers and stuff and see what they think. And so the next day she calls back and she's like, oh my God, our producers love you. We want you to come out here. So I ended up going out there for a week. And during the interview, they asked me if there's anything that Paris and Nicole could help me with as far as pageants. And my answer was interview, because I used to be really, really shy. So we get there and like, it was a lot of fun. We, very first day we got there, we had to do like whatever you do for pageants, like beauty, swimwear, talent, all that. We had to do it in front of them. So then after that, it was like a teacup party. We papered people's houses. We had a like eagle bird. It was crazy, on my mom's arm, and it had to fly to my arm. So I had a blast, and but they ended up making the moms do the pageant. So whatever your daughter did, she had to do on stage. And my mom was like, oh my God. And so it was really great. But so at the end, Paris gave us a huge gift basket of like everything she designs, and she literally sat there and like there was 5 of us. So she sat there and autographed whatever we wanted, and like wasn't like, oh, I'll just do one. So she was really nice, and I had the time of my life. So that's how I got started.
Okay.
And, when I came back home, I was like, I want to do this more. So my mom helped me to find like some independent films where I live, and one of them is Telephone. So yeah.
Okay. Now talking about that, tell me, like, was that like one of your first projects, and like what were some of the challenges that you had when you were, like recently started with your acting career?
It was all new, and there's certain nerves, you know what I mean, when you are experiencing it. But it was really, I had a really great time, but there was one scene I had to do, and it was involving a dunk tank. So the director was like, I forget what he said. I think he said something about like there was something in there and it would shock me, dry ice. And I was scared to death, and I was like, I can't do that. I was like, I don't want to die today. So I was like flipping out, and I think I was even crying. I was so scared.
Yeah.
And come to find out, there wasn't nothing in there, and I was fine once I went under. And so he was like, I just needed to get that look, and she gave it. So that happened. But yeah, it was super cool to get other people that were in the project, get to know them, and watch them act of how, you know, they do things. And so each project I have done, I've learned a lot of new stuff, and it's really great, you know, when you're doing a project to like have a little family, you know what I mean, with the project itself. So yeah,
I love it. And then between 2009 and 2011, you were in even a lot more projects, such as Hell House, Halloween, Homecoming, Soup Kitchen, Santa Claus versus the Zombies, The Girl. But tell me, like, how you usually prepare a character. I mean, I understand, of course, that depends on the role, but like, what usually, let's say, that sets you off into this kind of journey in which you are creating, basically someone out of nowhere, you know?
right. So I would say, you know, I'm super big about being professional.
Okay.
And like, you know, I have to know my lines before, and like, I can't, sometimes I've been on a set and like people will just show up, not know their lines. And I'm like, I couldn't do that because it would make me, you know, a nervous wreck to try to do all that. But so I'm super big about learning my lines. And my acting coach, Tony Boldy, he told me that, you know, with whatever your line is, he was like, you have to make it personal.
Okay.
And even if you have to like change, you know, the character and say, make it somebody, you know, that's close to you, or like a personal experience you've had. So the emotions should be like that. And then once you get it down, you just, you know, put it back to whoever that line is to, you know what I mean? So like recently I ended up doing, a monologue scene, or it was a scene actually, and it was from one of the Batman movies, and I did it with one of the other actors in the acting class. And so I had to like be sad, and you know, I made it personal to me. So like when it was time to do that scene, when I just looked at the person I was acting with, I like immediately started crying. And so I think it's, you know, you just got to put yourself in the shoes, if that makes sense. So
okay. And what could be like some of the challenges that someone who is recently started acting might have when they are in the process of character creation?
I would say that there's tons of, you're gonna get more no's than you are yeses. And you know, I think a lot of people have, you know, like discouragement, and are like, you know, if I don't get anything, maybe I'm not good, you know? And there's so many things along the way that with any casting, like, you know, you might be the best actress or actor, and you know, you didn't get it because you have brown hair and they need somebody blonde, you know what I mean? Like, so most times in castings, they're looking for like a specific, you know, hair color, or if she's not short enough, you know what I mean? So I would say that, so just don't give up. But I actually, I saw a video a couple months ago, and I will never forget it. It was a really good video. And the guy, he actually directed some movies. And he said the best advice he would give is, starting out, that there is not enough experience you could get as, you know, like, even if it's a short film or, you know, a commercial or anything, you know, like, experience is what gets you along the way, because that's where you learn the most. Okay.
Okay, I like it. And
yeah, I thought it was a good one.
Yeah.
I was like, it makes total sense.
It does. And do you think, like, in order to make a relatable character, like, part of this process you will need to inspire either in personal experiences, or what would you say that it's kind of the key for character creation?
Um, Personal experience, definitely. And for me, I like to envision myself, like if I'm having to play Rebecca, for instance, like I can see it in my head of her, but as me. And yeah, I would say personal experience. And just when I study the lines and I get them down, I'll go over it a million times just to know I have it. But it's super important in your head, to think like I'm Rebecca, you know what I mean? So
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I think it is. I mean, at the end of the day, you will need to kind of create like your own thing, because for some of the interviews that I have, is like every actor has like their own way. Some of them would inspire either personal experience only, or some of them would inspire like in people they have met throughout their life, or even sometimes some people that they're gonna go through a Starbucks and try to look like different people and try to get inspired. Like, okay, I can get I don't know, like their expression for this guy, and I can get like the manner from that guy, and stuff to kind of create. So it is so interesting, the fact, like this whole journey. Personally, I do think it is super interesting, because at the end of the day, the fact that you can create like someone out of nowhere and to play it as you, that is really cool.
Right. No, I agree. And so, we're all learning as we go every day.
Totally.
But something that happened to me was I had to do a audition, and I love my acting, but he's great. But I sat all day and I was trying to learn the lines and all that, and I think it's creative because I ended up getting one of the first line was what, and I'm like, so when I got on there with him, he was like, have you sat there all day long saying what? And I was like, yeah. I'm like, because it's so cool to me how somebody could say what 20 different ways. I mean, like you got me and other people, like everybody's gonna say what a different way. So I just think that's really cool to see, the difference of the different actors or actresses.
I love it. And then you were in Nashville, Kill, Granny Kill, Acts of God, Clown Nightmare, and Wicked Ones. I mean, between more. I mean, if you're watching this right now, go to see Kayla IMDb, and it's huge. I mean, it's a huge list going on here. But like, what do you think it's important for storytelling?
I would say, just make it you, make it comfortable and, relate as much as possible.
Okay. All right. I love it. And what do you like the most about getting yourself involved in the story for a project?
So my big dream is to be on Lifetime. So I love it, but it's like looking at the script, and if you feel comfortable with whatever the role is, and if you like the role and all that, so that, and I just love, like, when you do a movie, there's tons of new people, there's tons of people that do them all the time. And so, you get to see people that you've seen before, and then you get to meet new people, and, and maybe it's like a touchy thing, but, the people I've worked with, it's like I said before, you get in like this little family, and you connect with the people, and, so it's like a family outside of your home,
Yeah, okay.
And so I did a play with my acting coach, and one of the things was I had a boyfriend named Tony in it. And
Okay.
the play was on Zoom. So, that's difficult from the start
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
try to do all that. But all the people that's in the acting coach or teacher, they're all over the world. And so, we're all zooming in and all that. And so, the one way I got super comfortable with the boyfriend was, I called him, we video chatted, we learned everything about each other. And when we very first had to practice it, I got an email later on, and the director was like, she was like, you would really think they're in a relationship. She was like, there was a connection just through Zoom for them to just get to know each other. And so, yeah, if I have to do a scene and it's just, me or the other person, like, I try as much as possible to get to know them. And I think that helps a lot. So yeah.
I love it. That's so cool. And like from all of your different performances at the moment, like which has been, like the deepest learning curve, like the performance that, let's say, that you learned the most lessons from?
I'm trying to think. I think me doing my monologue, I did a monologue like a couple months ago.
Okay.
And I honestly think that I learned the most there. And my acting coach had somebody else come in, and I did it the night before, then I did it the next day, and he was like, it's like night and day the way I changed it. And he helped me so much with like for instance, my monologue was sad and I cried, and he was like, which I learned something great was, use your emotions through your eyes, and all the hurt, if you've experienced hurt or whatever in your life, like he was like, use it to your advantage. And he was like, acting is kind of like therapy in a way, because you start to learn so much about yourself. And yeah, so I think for real that is 100% right. So this year I feel like I have learned so much about myself that I didn't know,
And like from being in films to TV, tell me like what has been like some of the highlight moments from your career at the moment?
I love them both. I guess one thing is, with television, like you're mic'd all day, all night, like, it's reality. Whereas in movies, it's, you're not mic'd all day, till you have to film, but you could do it 20 times if you had to, just to make it look right. You know what I'm saying? So I like movies, and I guess with television, I would say like in Nashville and in The Simple Life, I loved meeting Paris, Nicole, like even on Nashville, there was 5 of us, and I got to sit with Hayden Panettiere, and I thought that was so cool. And so it was a blast. But yeah, to me, I like movies just because, if you mess up or stumble or say something wrong, you can edit that and make another take, whereas in a show, you can't. So that's the difference to me, but I would do either one,
Okay. And what advice could you give to those who, are recently started acting?
I guess the same thing as I said before, like it's super important, no matter, there was somebody telling me one, and I can't remember if it was the Hulk, but somebody told me one time that he tried and like got turned down for like 90 something films. And he was he was like talking about suicide and stuff, and people were trying to talk to him. And then so like I guess that day he was going to commit suicide, and that day he got a call to be the Hulk, and his whole life changed. So I think that's really cool. But I would just say, no matter how many no's you get, like anything else in life, get back up and try, and stay current on acting classes and photo shoots and updating your resume and network and just don't stop believing in yourself no matter what. And there's so many. This year I've noticed a lot, because I have a TikTok account, and I've noticed a lot of negativity, and there might be some on Facebook or whatever, but there's so many people that want to see you fail. And they're going to talk about you regardless if you're doing good or not. And at the end of the day, like, it's about the person, whoever it is that is acting, and that's it. And you, at the end of the day, have to do what makes you happy and believe in yourself.
Yeah, it is true. And I think one of the things that I, for example, personally, hate about this crazy times is that now, for some people, if they don't like something, they basically want to destroy it. I mean, if you don't like something, that's fine. I mean, I think that's kind of the beauty of the whole internet thing, that there's a place for everybody.
Right.
But the fact that if you don't like something and you want to destroy that person who is doing it, I think that like too much negativity, like too much hate, and that is one of the things that I certainly do not appreciate. The fact that why would you be like that, or why would you try to destroy somebody else's work, so yeah.
No, I agree. I guess it was a month ago, I actually told my mom, I was like, I don't understand, and like, they say if you believe in God, like, you're not meant to understand, and just be, but I really don't understand, like, why people just can't be happy for the other person, or like, oh wow, I mean, I'll never understand it. But I'm super big about like being there for people, and I'm like a helpful person, and I'm good-hearted, and so at the end of the day, I would do anything for anybody. But I just can't understand, like, people should uplift people and, not try to break them down. And I'm like, there's thousands of roles out there. Like, there's no reason, to be that way.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But, we're living in crazy times right now. So.
Oh, yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. And now, besides acting, you have other talents, such as modeling and singing. I mean, as I was saying before, you're basically doing everything here. I mean, you're killing it. But tell me, like, what do you like the most about modeling and singing?
Thank you. I love to sing, and I really don't sing as much now, but for me, it's like a therapy, and I just think it's super fun. I mean, I love to dance and sing, and I actually told this to somebody last night on TikTok. I was like, I feel like if you're in a bad mood, or something's wrong, or whatever's going on in life, most times with me, like, I'll turn, even here, like at my house, I'll turn the radio on and like dance and sing, and it just makes everything better for me. But yeah, with modeling, I have done a couple magazines, and I have done a calendar for swimwear, and that was super fun. And I've done like a lot of runway shows.
Okay.
So I had a blast. And even like with the runway shows, like, there's so many girls, backstage that are there, you know, getting ready, and you get to once again like have a little group that's like a family, you know. And you learn so much about people doing them. But I loved them. I was telling the girl last night, she was like, what do you waiter? And I was like, I actually did one, and I think it was in Lexington, and the designers were like, it was really good stuff, but it was like super unique. And so I ended up having to wear, it was like cut off right here, and it was like a down, you know, like a dress, sleeveless dress. And so, but it was out of mustard packets.
Okay.
And it had mustard packets everywhere. And it was the coolest thing ever, and I loved it. So yeah, it sounds like it wouldn't be cool, but it was.
I love it. And if you could describe your acting career at the moment on a song that you could sing right now, which one would you pick?
So if I couldn't sing it, I would definitely do the Halloween theme song. I think because I've done a lot of horror films, I think that relates a lot.
Okay.
So I think that one, but I don't know about the singing one.
Okay. And what about if you could describe your career at the moment on a movie, TV show, book, or even a play? And what would be the title of it?
So I thought about this for a while, and I was like, I don't know. But, you know, one thing I would do a book, and this sounds maybe crazy, but I want it to be, I started writing a book, and it's about my life, but in a, like, it's reality, but at the same time, it's about murder. I haven't murdered nobody. But I've let some people read it, and they're like, oh my God. So I would love, since it's related to my life and my career and everything I went through as far as pageants, acting, you know, school, everything, I would want it to be that. And I would name it The Life of Jenny. Because I
like it.
And like I said, in a way, it's reality, but I changed the names of the characters. So, like, my name in it is Jenny. So, yeah.
Okay. And if you could describe your career again, but now on a drink, which one would you choose?
This was a super hard one, but if I am telling the truth and being true to myself, I would honestly say I would choose coffee. Like an espresso, because I'm always going, and I'm just obsessed with coffee, like for real.
Okay, all right. And my last question here is, what motivates you? You know, we all have those days, right, in which we just don't feel good enough. We feel terrible. You know, we think that maybe it's not working. You know. And it happens also that whenever you will receive either a bad critic, you know, or a bad comment, that you feel basically destroyed, and you're like, you know, like what the hell, you know. But in this case, like what gets you out of it? You know, what gets you out of all of those toxic thoughts, and just to continue pursuing your dream here.
Yeah, it makes it hard, and those days are hard, you know, when something's said, or, you know, like, I even still get somewhat upset, like, if I don't get a part, but I know, you know, it could be anything, but I honestly, what motivates me is getting up and taking a shower and, like, you know, thinking about the day, and just, you know, in my head, I'm super big about being positive more than negative. Yeah. And so, you know, if something goes wrong or whatever the situation is, like, I for real will tell myself, I'm like, you know, there's no reason for you to be like that. And think, you know, and I'm super big also about, like, if you don't get a part, or, you know, anything, like you lose your house or anything, I'm super big about, like, it's not meant to be. You know what I mean? Like, there's something this coming up next that is going to, you know, maybe it's better or, you know, whatever it is. But I believe that even with relationships or anything, like if something happens and it's not meant to be, you know, just stay positive and something greater will come along, you know?
Yeah, I love it. I love it, Kayla. I love every single word that you said. It is true. I love it. It is amazing. What can I say? I mean, I can't wait for more of your amazing career in the future. I mean, the fact that you're honest to it and you're so positive and you are honest with yourself, you know, that you're honest by heart, that is really cool. That is really nice. And I'm super sure that eventually we're going to basically see you in more and more, more and more stuff, basically, you know. And that is so cool. That is so amazing. And also, I want to thank those who are watching this right now. Thank you so much, those who tune in right now. If you're watching this later, either here on Instagram or later on YouTube or listening on Spotify or Apple Music, make sure that you're following Kayla. If you already do, fantastic. So what we're going to do now, we're going to make her trendy. You know, we're going to put hashtag Team Kayla, and we're going to basically spread all of her amazing content all over the world here because she rocks. And Kayla, before I send you off, I need to send you off properly again. So...
Thank you everybody that came on. Hello. And I also want to say I'm doing a new movie called The Lazarus Game. So that will be out this year or soon. And definitely go look for it and follow me on Instagram, Twitter. And my website is www.kaylaperkins.com. So just stay up with me.
I'm gonna put all of those links on the YouTube one, so you can count that. Also on Spotify and Apple Music, so they can check it.
Right.
Yeah. So in the meantime, Kayla, again, thank you so much. Keep having an amazing rest of the evening, an amazing upcoming weekend, and keep rocking, keep being this amazing talented person you always are. And I'll definitely see you in the next one.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks everyone. Bye.
Bye.